Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show we are going to have Lewis. Lewis is from Leeds in England in the UK. So let's see what Lewis has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Lewis, how are you?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time this evening for the interview. Thank you.
No problems. I've had a quick look over your page. It's quite interesting. No specific type of guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one in particular that I could not I would say not one category of person.
Yeah, I think anyone can participate on the show. I believe everyone has a story to tell, for sure. So tell me, how was your day today?
Yeah, good. Busy as always. I work in property, so during the day, obviously office hours is quite hectic, but as soon as it goes 5 o'clock, the phones turn off, doesn't it? So a little bit of peace after hours.
So tell me, what was the highlight of your day today?
Potentially securing a new property for myself, as a, like a buy and refurbish kind of thing, with a zero money down, so no money needed, and hopefully a nice profit share at the end.
Tell me where you're from, Lewis.
I'm from Leeds, England.
Born and raised?
Yes.
So tell me, what's the biggest joy of living in Leeds, in your opinion?
It's not much. Not much. It's a pretty sorry country, to be honest. When you're younger, you have a naive perspective on life in general. As you get older, you sort of experience the pains that your parents were going through when you're growing up and things like that. So obviously, as you get older, then you start to realise that maybe there's other places that you'd rather be, other countries perhaps, things like that, which is definitely a plan for the mid-term or short term, hopefully. Okay.
I see. So tell me, people who've never been to Leeds before, in your opinion, what's the postcard of the city? What's somewhere that, people, they should visit, they should see in the city if they come to Leeds?
I'm more of we're quite rural where we are, so I would say go see the other side of Leeds, not the city centre.
Okay.
As opposed to that, there's plenty of scenic places in and around Leeds rather than, you built up cities and things like that.
I see. Okay, Louis, so let's start the interview talking about your career in property. So tell me how everything started.
It started when I was working in telesales, so I knew I wanted to be involved in property, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do or how to get involved in it. I wasn't really committed to the role in telesales, in honesty. And I was phoning property companies, property management companies, that sort of thing. And I was just asking questions, trying to understand what they were doing and things like that. And I came across one company, which was Citywide Housing, and I spoke to one of the directors. And obviously, cold calling in this country is quite frowned upon. When you get cold called, it's generally quite abrupt, usually quite rude. I spoke to Ahmed, and we probably spoke on the phone for about 40 minutes.
Okay.
Just about life in general, what I was doing, things like that. And a couple of weeks later, I ended up just meeting him I met him with a business proposition. He said to me, if I ever wanted to do something and I brought him a valid plan, he'd put the money in and we'd go 50-50 and whatever. So even though I wanted to be in property, for some bizarre reason, approached him with like an e-commerce business, an online platform, which was just easy to write down and viable because I could understand it, whereas I didn't understand the property at all. So I went to go meet him. He liked the plan. He bought in. We went for it. 2 months later, we turned it round. I says, I don't like this. I don't think it's going to work. And he said that he does like me. So we ended up, that's how I got involved in the first place, initially, just by chance of, a Google search and a property company.
Amazing.
Bradford.
All right. Okay. So during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey, okay? Luis, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Yeah, okay.
Let's do it. Welcome to William in the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Run fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay? Let's do it. Okay, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, you don't want to talk about, always can change, okay? Amazing. First question is, what's your favorite season of the year and why?
Summer. Just like the warm, like the sun.
Tell me why. Why do you like the summertime?
Just feels good, doesn't it? Feels good on your skin. I don't like being cold. It's miserable. Don't like it being dark through the day. Just like the summer. More lively, longer days.
Is your birthday around summertime as well or not?
Yeah, May.
I see. And do you like celebrating birthdays?
Yeah, I suppose. Quietly. Not a big party. Not a big drinker. So,
Really?
yeah, quietly. Small celebrations.
Amazing. So tell me, what did you do this year for birthday, your celebration? Do you remember?
Just went out for some nice food. We recently got a dog not long before that, so we went for we walked up Pen one of the mountains somewhere around here.
Wow. What's the name of your dog?
Klaus.
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 Wow. And how old is Klaus?
Year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh, wow. And why the decision to get a dog?
My partner had just lost her childhood dog, which was back at her parents' house, and we'd been living on our own for a little while, so we just decided we were going to get a dog. So we went from her childhood dog, which was a Chihuahua, to a maybe 60-kilogram Rottweiler. So quite a drastic jump, but
for sure. Oh, wow. And you were the one who chose it, or she chose it?
My only condition was I don't want a small dog.
Okay.
So if we're getting a dog, get a dog, not a ferret or that sort of thing. So we ended up with a big dog. She had Rottweilers when she was even younger, so she wanted one, and that's what we ended up with.
Sweet, very sweet. Next question, let's do it. Okay, Luis, next question is, what makes you really angry?
Traffic.
That was very quick, the answer.
I spend a lot of time in my car.
Wow. And what time of the day that you get more traffic in Leeds, around the area?
Well, I travel from Bradford to Leeds, and it's around rush hour time, 4 or 5 o'clock, naturally.
Wow. Do you like driving?
Yeah, a lot. Probably one of my, I would say, a hobby. Not really a hobby, but a bit of a passion.
Walk me through a little bit about your day on a busy day for you. Walk me through since you wake up until the end of the day. Tell me like a busy schedule for you. Walk me through a little bit.
So up at 10 past 7.
Okay.
Gym for past. Out of the gym for 9 o'clock. On the way to work, probably do 2 or 3 viewings before I get to the office.
Okay.
Houses or maybe site visits on properties that we're renovating, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Come back to the office, catch up on the daily emails, usually about 40, which is never fun. But once we finish that, generally go do some filming for some content, some online videos, like on the Instagram where you message me.
Yeah.
And then perhaps do 3 or 4 more viewings on my way back out of the office, on my way back home.
Oh, wow. So do you start your day for work viewing some properties before you go to the office?
Easier just to get it on the way in. So
I
yeah,
see.
instead of going to the office and coming back out. So it's easier just to get them done first thing, come back, write up what I need to write up, get my stuff done, and then back out again on the way home.
I see. How often do you go to the gym?
Monday to Friday.
Wow. What did you work out today?
Back.
Me too. I did back today, actually.
Always the best.
I found one of the most difficult ones because I do the bar like that, and after I take this bar like this, the bar like that. I do
Yeah.
different sets. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you
No,
consider yourself to be more of a day or a night person?
don't know. I try sleep quite little, to be honest. I know. I don't know. Just as much, just enough to function. I can maybe 6 hours or something. So I'm not
Okay.
really a day or a night. I try and just. There's not really enough hours in the day anyway, so try and just make use of what there is.
I see. Okay. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, before the next question, tell me what's the biggest joy of working property? What do you like the most about your job? And of course, there's always a flip side. What do you find most challenging about it?
From a moral point of view, what we develop is for maybe like specialized supported care, assisted living, young care leavers, things like that. So I suppose from a profit for purpose kind of thing, which is more sustainable for the long term, which is always good.
Okay.
On the flip side of that, there is always, it's maybe sometimes lesser desirable tenants,
Okay.
which naturally they're not very pleasant to be around. So,
Right.
You're making a positive impact, but you're in some instances having to come across unpleasant people.
I see. I see. And so do you see clients like every single day or not?
No, very little. We're an investment company, you see, so we only deal with the buying and the refurbishing and selling or leasing of the properties. But occasionally, we do inspections on the properties and things like that, and we'll meet some of the tenants sometimes. Most of them are receptive.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting a free house, somewhere to live, bills paid. So most of them are quite pleasant. But
Okay.
there's always the bad egg in every bunch, which are not very nice to be around, like I say.
I see. And this business in the area in Leeds is something that's growing, or do you feel like unstable, that you don't find more, the business out there?
There's millions of people on the housing waiting list in this country. There's millions of people in care. There's, there's all manner of people that need caring for. So it's not something that is growing. It's always been in a massive demand. People are just becoming more and more aware of it, and it's becoming a bit of a buzzword amongst Facebook property groups and deal sources and things like that, social housing and whatever else. So it's becoming more known of, but the demand has always been
I see.
ginormous.
And the properties, they're all private or not private properties that you deal with?
What do you mean by that?
For example, those clients that you see, they're all private houses, like they're all the owners.
Yeah, yeah. So in sometimes a landlord would approach us, and instead of wanting a regular tenant, on the open market, they might want a long-term lease, so that we would lease the property from them for 3 or 5 years.
Oh, I see. I see.
They would put a housing association tenant. You
I got
know,
it.
yeah. Um, Sometimes people will come to us and say, we will pay you a fee to find us a property that is suitable for one of these leases that returns us X amount. And, we would then go find it, facilitate the purchase, refurbish it, and put it on a lease for them, which
I,
returns them a certain amount of capital
oh,
every year.
oh, I see. Now I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Next question is, what's the best gift have ever received and why you consider that?
It's a hard question, but in terms of non-monetary value,
Yeah.
weirdly, probably going back to Ahmed, the chap I met on the phone and the
Yeah.
property company. So I knew I wanted to work in property, but any other time going and working in an estate agents or something like that, you're still self-employed, you're still under the thumb, you're still an employee basically at the end of the day. So with these guys, it was never that. So I was always self-employed. It was always earn your own income. But now, because of that, I have, much more freedom. No thumb as such. So it was a way to becoming, independent and financially stable without having to go work a 9 to 5 or something else and having your own business. So
Wow. Saying that, what's the biggest joy of being Luis? What do you like the most about being you?
um, waking up every morning.
Why is that?
I don't know what greater gift than another day, I suppose.
Totally. Absolutely. And what's the meaning of life for you when you think about life?
I don't know. I guess it depends on what you as a person want out of life. So it's no meaning of life, just what do you want out of your own?
Tell me a life lesson that life has taught you that you feel very grateful for it.
If it seems too good to be true.
Why you say that?
Yeah. So harsh lessons learned, jumping into things too fast when you're younger, young and dumb, things like that. If it seems too good to be true, then it probably is. And again, with work, you learn this more and more.
For sure. Yeah, I think life is about learning, just about learning and, become a better person every day. That's how I see. Next question. Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do the next one. You like dancing?
No, 2 left feet.
Next question for you is, what do you like the most about your best friends?
Same mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same wavelength. Very few people that you get with on the same sort of vibration, they would say.
And which person in your life right now you feel more close to or more connected with?
Probably my partner.
Okay. So your partners is watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send her a message. What would you say? She's watching.
Stop laughing downstairs. Yeah, love you.
Oh, tell me, how did your path cross for the first time?
I used to manage a pub in the village where I grew up,
Okay.
and I was actually friends with a cousin.
Okay.
And we just met in the pub.
Wow. Who fell in love first?
Hard to say.
Tell me what's the biggest difference between both of you and the biggest similarity?
Both stubborn.
Okay.
I suppose we've just got opposing opinions. It doesn't matter if we actually agree on the topic. We've just got opposing opinions anyway, so that's probably the biggest difference. Argue for the sake of it.
Amazing. 3 questions left. Let's do it. Next question for you is, what is the scary thing that happened to you?
I don't know. Perhaps taking the leap from full-time employment and relinquishing a salary and, you know, any income whatsoever when you have a house to pay for and a car to pay for, and, you know,
Wow.
knowing that you're fully responsible for yourself. Probably quite a scary one when you think back on it.
For sure, for sure. And how did you feel was the right thing? Did you have this, this intuition that you're doing the right thing at the time, or not? You're scared about it?
I feel like I knew it was definitely a risk, particularly going and working with 2 people in Bradford, you know, as the reputation holds, that I'd never really met before and didn't know, for pretty much zero income, was, you know, quite a tricky one. But I think if I'd have stayed in, you know, the call centres or the sales offices, it would have ended very unprofessionally. It was just getting to a point in my life where that avenue had expired, regardless of whether I wanted to be there or not. So I needed to do it, whatever it was. So I just took the jump, and luckily my partner, like I say, was there to pick up the slack momentarily whilst I got back onto my feet. So
Wow. Do you feel like you are living your best life right now, Lewis?
no, but I'm working hard now so I can live my best life.
Wow, amazing. Very good. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, of course, we got connected through Instagram, social media. So my question for you is, what's your big inspiration for you to create your videos on social media?
I just think that I actually don't like social media. I don't like Facebook. I don't like Instagram. I think that in a lot of ways they're quite distracting for people. There's a lot of poisonous stuff on there that doesn't need to be seen. You don't need 8 billion people's bad experiences all fed onto a news feed for you to soak up. I don't think you're supposed to see or have that amount of, you know, respectfully in your life for that.
Yep.
So, but as much as I dislike it, it is the way the world is going, and without it, you cannot be seen. It doesn't matter how good your website is or how good your leaflets are that you put through people's door. If you haven't got social media, you're a no one to anyone, unfortunately. So that's why we got to put ourselves out there.
For sure, I totally agree with you. I think social media, they try to sell perfection, what doesn't exist. You know what I mean? And sometimes we get trapped to that thing about social media. You just need to balance and see how to use it as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not take over your time or take over you. I get your point for sure. Next question is, what would be your ideal day?
Going somewhere sunny, going on a holiday, overnight trip, somewhere close, just going for some food, somewhere nice and warm.
Are you planning to go for a holiday soon or not?
Yeah, soon as I can. We bought a house at the beginning of the year. It's taken us a bit longer than we had hoped to get it renovated, hence the strange window and a few other bits. But yeah, we're getting there. Once we're finished, we'll definitely be going somewhere.
As I could see your eyes shining talking about your partner, tell me so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from her?
Um, think twice. Think twice before you speak.
It's a good one, actually. Very good. Have you learned the lesson?
A few times. Yeah, sharp ones.
Last question, let's do it. Before the last question, people watching this interview right now, maybe they are thinking to buy a property, to buy a house. What would be your best piece of advice for those people first?
If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Always do your research. There's a lot of people out there that will sell you an absolute dream. If you want an investment property, for example, you know, the rental figures will be through the roof. There'll be no void periods, there'll be no repairs, management, any of that. What seems like a good deal on paper might not necessarily be a good deal in real life. So just make sure you do your own research. Don't, you know, follow blindly on someone else's spreadsheet, because if it was as good as they say it is, they'd probably have it to sell.
Based on your experience, what's the biggest mistake that people, they still do when they are buying a property?
In terms of investing or buying their own property, or so, are you talking in terms of buying for the first time their own house, or
Yeah,
a
their house,
rental property to rent out, or
their own house.
in terms of their own? I personally think a lot. When I was younger, my grandparents always told me to mortgage as much as you possibly could, because the house price will increase and it will make up for it. And to me, that never ever really made sense, and I never understood it. And now that I've worked in what I've done, I would say to people, step back, don't push yourself to your absolute maximum, because you've still got to pay it every single month after that. You know, it's not just the process of getting the mortgage approved. Once you've got it, you've got to pay it, and it's a lot of money. I would personally go cheaper, maybe try and add a little bit of value. Maybe you've got some equity trapped in it then afterwards, or maybe you could even refinance depending on how much value you add. But I wouldn't try and stretch yourself on a massive mortgage, and I wouldn't try and put a massive deposit down either. I would put as little down as possible. It doesn't benefit you, your money being tied up in that house.
I see. And for people who, as you mentioned before, about buying properties to renovate and to, to rent out, what would be your advice for those people first?
Always know what your exit is going to be. Always know what you want to do at the end. A lot of people will just buy a property because they think it's a good price, but then they don't actually know what they want to do with it afterwards. And because of that, they realise the reason it was a good price was because it doesn't rent for a lot of money, or it's not really a nice area. So I would understand what model you want to use, whether it wants to be like a high-end serviced accommodation, Airbnb kind of thing, or whether you want to be more basic, modest, social housing, or private rental. You know, you've got to know what you want to do at the back before you buy the property. Otherwise, you just throw in good money after bad.
Interesting, I like that. So it means that you need to make a plan before. You need to know why you're buying this property, for which reason, the main reason.
Well, just as a more of an example, because we're an assisted living developer, we buy hubs or care homes, or, you know, really rundown blocks of flats and apartments. So we would never actually purchase that without knowing that we have a commission contract or some sort of lease in place for the day we finish. it's on a lease. It's not our responsibility. Money's coming in, and it can be sold, or it's cash flowing, and you're away from the problem.
I
So
see.
we would never even contemplate buying something until we have a formal agreement that we have an exit lined up. So, there's no point buying something if you don't know what you're going to do with it.
I see. Okay. Okay, last question is, what does love mean to you?
Consistency, understanding.
I see. Tell me the time when when love hit you that felt like, oh my God, now I understand the meaning of love.
I don't know. I suppose on the times when they're not there, at the beginning when you're not, obviously we live together now. It's nearly 10 years down the line, so it's been a while. But, maybe at the beginning when you're not together permanently is when you realise.
Amazing. Very good. So then, Jet, let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to say some words, just the one word that comes to your mind. We're thinking. Let's start with money.
Property.
Of course.
Natural, sorry.
It's okay, not right or wrong. Fear.
Pardon?
Fear.
Fear.
Yeah.
Dark. Okay. Strangely. I'm not scared of the dark either.
Okay.
I don't think.
Family.
Family. Grandparents.
Life.
Grandparents.
Okay. Love.
Yeah, we're stuck on that path again. Probably grandparents.
I knew you'd say that. And why this connection with your grandparents? Why do you always have this great connection with them?
Yeah, we were very close when I was younger. And, obviously recent COVID and things like that took one of them away. So, and it still feels like a recent, even though it was probably 5 or 6 years ago now, that it's, or maybe not even that long. It feels that long ago. But, yeah, we were just close, and it was obviously a good relationship. So,
yeah, I think our connection with our grandparents is special. Isn't there something about this connection that it's impossible to explain?
Yeah.
Religion.
All I thought of was no.
Okay. Sex.
Baby.
Say again?
Baby. Pregnancy.
Okay. Politics.
Wrong.
Friendship.
I can think of a word, but it's not coming to me. Loyalty.
I like that. Desire.
Sex.
Okay. Regret.
Ooh, money.
Okay. Success.
Time.
Wish.
Time.
Happiness.
Sun.
Do you have a son or are you planning to have a son?
Sunshine.
Oh, sorry. Sunshine. One word for Leeds.
Wet.
One word for England.
Wetter.
I knew you say that. I knew it.
Cold.
And the last one now, property, one word.
Freedom.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your partner for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, define Lewis in one positive and one negative word only. What she would say about you?
Reliable.
Okay.
Irritating.
All right. Let's play now Lewis and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. You must be thinking, what is this crazy guy dancing in front of me here right now?
Yeah, that is probably more my question. Not so much the dancing, but Who are you? Why have you messaged me? Why do you do what you do? And is it what you anticipated you were going to be doing at this point in your life?
Wow, amazing question. You know what, Louis? I always been very creative. I always wanted, before the COVID, I wanted to do something on YouTube where I could express myself, I could connect with people, but I didn't know what I could do. As you know, there are so many people out there with beautiful projects, and I didn't know what to do. And literally, during the COVID, remember you could leave the house once a day for exercise? You remember? Like for an hour? I was doing that. I was going for a run every day in the park. In one of those runs, this idea came along. Literally, I remember the place, I remember the moments I was running, and I stopped for a minute and I was like, oh my God, that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna literally research some questions, create some questions, and I'm gonna, invite random people around the globe to see their point of views, to see their ideas about life, their experience, and to connect with others as well. So literally, the whole idea was about, connect with others and express myself as well. And about the music, the dance between questions, it was very natural, very natural. I'm from Brazil. Brazil, we love dancing. You have the thing about dancing. And I thought to myself, I think I'm going to put that because different questions is a different topic, yeah? So it's not like an interview when you go, on and on, no stop. So I think this break with the dance, it breaks a little bit, the questions, and you just come with a new concept or a new question, different topic. So yeah, it was a naturally idea that literally just
What
came.
is the box?
The box is okay. So the first idea, I think, because of the questions, I was like, okay, I need to put something, to have something to kind of mix the questions, and that was literally all. The idea went like starting coming like naturally. In one point, I found myself with my phone, with my laptop, with the music, the questions, and the magic box. That's how it started, literally. Did you enjoy?
Right, okay.
Did you
Yeah,
enjoy?
yeah.
Did,
Good
yeah.
fun. Good fun.
Thanks again. Thanks for taking the challenge. Thanks for being so kind and accepting the invitation. Before you go, actually, Luis, through your career, since you started working property, tell me a situation or a moment that you're never gonna forget. That for you so far, you know, you hold close to your heart.
Yeah, so we use this as an example to quite a lot of our clients. So people have a bad understanding of social housing for one, benefit tenants. People have an also equally uneducated and bad opinion on HMOs, house shares and things like that. So we had a house in Bradford and there was a chap in there, and obviously we don't generally deal with the tenants, but the housing association had reached out to us. We've got a good relationship with these guys. They said, and I'm not going to actually mention his name,
No.
just because I don't want to.
Of course.
Anyway, they said this he's not supposed to be here. This is not our usual clientele. It was a former firefighter. He'd only been with them for 2 months. He'd broke up with his wife, fell on hard times, lost his house, lost his kids, ended up homeless, and ended up with this housing association. So because he was a competent and driven person and he didn't want to be unemployed, he wanted to go get a job. But whilst you're being housed by these guys, you can't work. It's part of a benefit program. So the system's a little bit broken because, he can't go get a job because they'll kick him out of his house, and he can't get a house because he doesn't have a job. It's a bit of a vicious loop. And then they complain about where all the funding goes. So they phoned us up. They says this guy's not supposed to be here and he has a job lined up, but he can't start until he has somewhere else to live. Do you have anywhere that you can put him up? So we put him up in a small 1-bedroom apartment, next to nothing rent, very, very minimal rent. I think it was less than 3 months later, I got a message off him saying, he'd handed his notice in at the flat. He said he was, eternally grateful for whatever he'd done. He'd got a job full-time working in a kitchen in a pub. He'd got his own private 3-bedroom house with a garden, and he'd got shared custody of his kids back.
Oh my
So,
God.
you know, within the space of like 6 months, he's gone from in a house with 8 other individuals sharing 3 bathrooms to back in a full-time employment with his kids in a house. So it was a good success story, and it's how it's supposed to work. But unfortunately, the government don't put enough bridge in between being here and here. And once you get stuck here, there's no way back into normality. So
Wow.
it was nice to be that bridge. We tried it again. Unfortunately, it stung us. But, we lesson learned in that regards. But first time round was always a good feeling, good result, just what we were needing.
That's amazing. Oh my God. So glad you shared that story, Luis. I think it's amazing for you to share that. And I think there's always a way to sort things out. There's always a way for you to find a better life or better opportunity or something like that. I think it's a great story. Wow. Thanks for sharing. Amazing.
No problems.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, thought it was fun.
Thanks again. Thank you. And before you go, Luis, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I suppose it's not always just work, is it? It's not work. Take time for yourself, take time for your family, your partner, everyone else around you, grandparents, things like that. And, make sure you take your time to switch off as well.
Amazing. Great question. Great point. Thanks again. Regards to your family and friends, and keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you on the show, okay?
See you soon.
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.